Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts. I've got a one sheet wonder for you today. In fact, I've got 3 one sheet wonders for you today. All very quick, very easy, very simple. I say that a lot, but I really mean it this time. Now, rather than it being a folio or a standalone project, I've made these to be inserts for, junk journals. I'll show you with this first one. These on my desk are all made from 12 by 12 sheets, but this one I made from a page in a 12 by 12, it's almost 12 by 12 calendar. And it's going to go in this journal. Look how well it matches. I honestly didn't realise I'd picked the same calendar page, the one that matched the cover, because I used the cover of the calendar to make this, didn't I? Yeah. So let's pick a page and let's pop it on. I'll probably not keep it on that one. Look there. It's 8.5 inches high. The reason I've chose to make them that high on this first one is because that's the height of it's the width of a letter size sheet of paper, isn't it? What you peeps in the US use. So that would fit on the page without any trimming. Here in UK it's about 8.25, so you just need to trim a smidgen off. Or you could trim more off and turn that back page into a pocket. Yeah, you fold it down. You could have another pocket there. So it's designed to be, and when I say designed, I will tell you who inspired me in a moment. It is a belly band. Yeah, so you've got a belly band there. This one I've made, there's a pocket there. You can put pockets, anything you want on there. Don't limit yourself just to this one 12 by 12 sheet, but making them initially, that's what I've done. And this is an envelope. I've made this one using my envelope punch board, but I will show you how to make it with the punch board and without, depending on whether you've got one or not. That is a piece that were cut off when I made the envelope, and I've not glued it in yet, just to show you that you can pop it there to cover up the fact that that's a calendar, if that bothers you, or if you're using single-sided paper, which these are perfect for, and you don't want the white showing. That triangle will fit there. We're left with one other tiny triangle. This is when we make it with punch board, and you can make that into a pocket. Yeah. This calendar wasn't quite 12 by 12 inches, so my triangle is very small. If you're using an actual 12 by 12 inch sheet of paper, you get a slightly bigger triangle. Yep, so I'm going to leave that there because that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that one in that junk journal that I made. So, quick look at a few others. I have done a couple of different sizes on them. That one, the envelope, as you can see, is it different, that one? Yeah, that envelope is taller and a little bit narrower than that one. But they all work in pretty much the same way. I've put a tab on that one. So you pull that out. You can use that for journaling. You could put some tea-dyed paper over that. You could put pockets on it. You've got the pocket there. Again, you could put a pocket on here, anything you want. That's the kind of thing I'd do at the time of putting it in a journal. That is a pocket. And again, on this side, journaling or pockets, whatever you want to do. And then you've got it as a belly band when you put it in. So yeah, I've made, like I said, I've made quite a few. This one was made with a single-sided sheet of 12 by 12. And as you can see, that's the white side. That triangle will cover that up. The other triangle I've used there to make a pocket. And a pocket there. This one is a slightly different design, but I'll be showing them you both. And I'll show you how to adapt the size as well. And like I say, if you don't have an envelope punch board, this one I made without using an envelope punch board. We open it up. That envelope, slightly different style, but does its job. There are all the little bits that I cut off. You could use those, you could use them for anything. Tabs, yeah, you can make little flowers out of them. I didn't want to waste any, or I did at least want to show you how much of each 12 by 12 sheet was unused. I've fastened some with washi tape. Now for the inspiration. The inspiration came from a lady called Kathleen Mower. She has a YouTube channel, she's absolutely amazing, and she did this. And she made it using a piece of scrapbook paper, an envelope and a tag. Yeah, I will put the link to Kathleen's channel in my description. I'm not going to show you this one. If you want to see this one, not made from a 12 by 12, go over and have a look at Kathleen. Or even if you stay here and watch this, go over after and have a look at Kathleen. You will like her. Yeah, so that's a tag, an envelope. I've got washi tape holding those together. And yeah, that's the same thing. Belly band. It's just something interesting, isn't it, for your journal page? Or like I say, if you make a journal and you want an interesting element on the front, if you want that flippy flappy look without making a full flippy flappy journal, yeah, this would be perfect. So let's start. The first one I'm going to make, I think, shall we? Which one shall I make first? Oh, it's really, I'll make this one first. Yeah, this one I made using my envelope punch board, just the envelope, and it has a little bit more interest. A pocket there, pocket there. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. I will use a 12 by 12 single-sided. I've got my camera quite zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just grab this piece of paper without sending you dizzy flipping through these. Ooh, that one's pretty. So we may use that one. Or I may just, to be honest, I may just use this green one. That looks good too. I might use that one. So I'll take both those out. Right, I'm going to get my 12-inch trimmer out. I'm just wondering if I need to zoom out a little bit. I will just zoom out a little bit. Right, that's better. So now you can see my trimmer now on my full sheet. So I've chose this one because it's not as busy and you haven't got to worry too much about what pattern you want where. Although I don't tend to worry much anymore. I tend to cut and then just do and adjust. So we're going to cut this. I want that as part of my envelope, and I'm going to cut a 9-inch by 9-inch square, and I'm going to do that by, first I will cut it. Get your measure a bit out, woman. So I'll cut it that way at 9 inches. No real reason why I've done that way rather than that way. This part will end up being your pocket on the front. So that will get folded over. Then I'm going to cut it again at 9 inches. I want that leaving as part of my envelope, which is going to be the 9 by 9 inch square. And no, that's going to be the bit that folds over for your tag. That's going to be the back piece. Yes, yes. I know what I'm doing. Trust me, I'm a crafter. So pop that away. Now we will make the envelope using my envelope punch board. I'll move that because that's for a different project. Right. So if you have an envelope punch board, if you're familiar with how to use it, job's a good one. We've got a 9 by 9 inch sheet of paper. We look down here and find envelopes that we can make with certain paper sizes. And which one? That's the one. I've put a little pencil mark so I could remember. That's the one I've made. An envelope that will fit a card that is 3.5 by 7.5 inches. Now that doesn't mean your envelope's going to be that size. It means your envelope's going to be slightly bigger than that size. So I'll tell you what size this envelope ended up being. It ended up being 7 3/4 by 3 3/4 ish. They're always ish with this. So I'm going to line that up. I think it does say 3 1/8, yeah. At the 3 1/8 mark there. Then I will punch. And then because I don't know what I've done with scoring tool that came in my punch board, I'm going to use this one. But no, I'm going to use this one. It's a bit rounder. And then we score down there. Because this is a big envelope, yeah, you will find yourself wanting to go slightly off edge of board, but don't worry. Then I'm going to turn it round. Then what you would normally do is line that up with that, but I don't do that. I turn it a second time and I go to that 3 1/8 inch mark again. This helps your envelope be a little more square. There's less room for error. If you've got the envelope punch board, you'll know what I mean. And then I will turn it, I will line that up with that line, which I often have trouble seeing. So then I will look here, and this part here I want it to line up just before the groove. Yeah, that helps you get better corners. It just helps. So then I'm going to turn it. That's my side I haven't punched. So line that up with that. Make sure that's lined up. So I'm more bothered about this than having that lined up there when I make envelopes. Oops, someone's messaging me. I forgot to turn my other phone off. Sorry. Score and punch. Right. So I'm not bothered that they've not scored all the way to end because it's not an issue. I'm going to come in and fold all my 4 flaps. I'm doing them separately because I just get a nicer even crease. I love my envelope punch board. It's had so much use. In fact, the punches are wearing out on mine. If I use really thin paper, it just won't do it anymore. But I'm talking, I've had it umpteen years. Right, now I'm going to decide which, oh look at that, which way up I want my envelope. So this is what we're making. So I could have my envelope that way or that way. I do not want my birdie upside down. So I'm going to have my envelope that way. So that's how I want it. That is going to go underneath, and that is going to get cut to make a little triangle for a pocket and make this envelope look neat. So I promise you it's not just a tutorial on how to use an envelope punch board, and I have put timestamps on the video today. Well, I will have. I haven't done it yet. It's all that time travel thing and everything. That's things I will do. So I've done those 2 little marks. I'm going to bring my trimmer in and I'm going to cut that triangle off. Just lining my 2 marks up there and there and cut. I'll just come in with a pencil and rub out any that are left. I don't always remember to do that. Then the other side of the envelope, because it's going to go underneath the belly band part, I don't want to waste all that, so I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to give myself an inch, because I think an inch is plenty then to anchor this under that belly band. So I'm going to line the crease up with the 1 inch mark and cut. That then gives us the triangle to put here if that white bothers us. If the white doesn't bother us, we can use the triangle for something else. So that's the cutting done. No, it isn't, I'm fibbing. That's the cutting for that done. Now we're left with these 2 other pieces of paper. And like I said, one is going to be this, and that is the shorter one. And then this one is going to be the belly band and that pocket. So decide which way up it needs to be. If it's directional and it bothers you, it's a fleur-de-lis. I never know which way up they go. I think it's that way. So that's going to be my top and that's going to be my bottom. Now this is a point at which you can adjust it if you know what height it needs to be in your journal. If you know your journal is going to be 8 inches tall, then cut it down to 8. If it's going to be 7, well, I don't think will it fit in if it's 7. How high is the envelope? No, it's not going to fit in if it's 7 because envelope's nearly 8. Just cut it down, but I'm going to cut this down to 8.5, and I'm not going to use my little trimmer because it don't cut 8.5. That's just all my trimmers falling in my little floor organised area. So I'm going to cut this to 8.5 inches. So I'm keeping that part on, so I've got the little bit of foliage at the top. So cut that down to 8.5. And then that will go over there and be my pocket. Right. Now this one, if it was a pattern and it were just going in wrong direction for your liking, you could cut that in half and then stick them together. But this is actually, is it sideways? But it don't bother me. It's quite a plain one. Oh, can you hear that wind out here? Storm. I can't pronounce what storm it is. It's a storm. It's not too bad here actually. We're classed as the north of England, the south of Yorkshire. So it's like Yorkshire's in the north of England and we're in the south of that. So we're not getting it bad. So that's that folded. I'll keep showing you this one for reference. So we've now got that part, the pocket and the envelope. Now if you want to ink, go ahead and ink now. I think I'm going to do some inking, yeah. Just to show you that I've been inking slightly differently. I don't know why. It's not required. It's it's just a different way of inking. I've been inking more like I used to ink when I made cards. Let me just grab my piece of thing that I ink on. There we go. I've also moved camera back a little bit nearer again so you can see these details a bit better. Yeah, I've been using it. It's just a piece of a mylar sheet. You can buy all sorts of inking and blending mats. Glass mats are really good, but I tend to get too much reflection, so I don't use it. I think I might have inked a bit like this in my last video. Oh, before I ink, I'm just going to put a few little notches in, little thumb notches, so you know where the pockets are. I will grab my 1 3/4 inch punch I like for this. So I'm just going to put a little semicircle there. There we go. And I want one in this. I think I'll have that as the front. Yeah, I just thought this project's going to use up a lot of those things that I've got too much of. 12x12 papers, washi tape for joining them, and like this one I decorate, that's a rub-on, that wasn't part of the actual paper. Rub-ons. Yeah, the no spend January is still going good. I'm not spending. Right, but I've not done a lot of videos, like I said. I'll have more time when kids are 30. Ooh, I'll waffle while I ink as well. Right, I've been promising to... I totally forgot last couple of videos. I went to a concert, didn't I, in December, and I'd been really looking forward to it, to see the script. And I totally forgot to give an update on what happened. Well, it wasn't the best. It turns out that our tickets had the wrong time on, or the band started early. I didn't have any luck finding out which, and we missed the first half of the concert, which I'm not very impressed about. Also, the venue was extremely overcrowded to the point where, yeah, you were just being pushed and shoved. The bar was closed by the time we managed to get to it. But the bar staff were really good and gave us some free water. It's not like I drink a lot, but I do like a pint of lager when I go to a concert. I don't drive there, we go on bus, so that's fine. And yeah, so we missed the first half of the script. No comeback as far as the cost of the concert goes, because it is in the small print. They're allowed to start early if they want to, although myself and anyone else I've ever spoken to has never ever been to a concert that started early. And yeah, so yeah, bit of a letdown. I think twice about booking to see a big act there again. It were Leadmill in Sheffield. We go there quite often to see smaller bands and never really have a problem. But yeah, so interestingly enough, we are going to another concert. I'm lucky that my eldest likes small bands and indie bands, because you can get concert tickets for like £20. Yeah, no £300-400 for us, I'm afraid. We're going to see, she likes a band called Set It Off. I don't need to ink that bit, because that's going to be tucked under and glued. And we just had an email altering the start time of their concert. So, I don't know, we booked through the same ticket vendor. So whether they've made more than one mistake, and it was a mistake on our tickets for that script concert, I don't know. But we don't go to concerts early, you see. I don't know if it's same in US, but especially this one venue we go to quite a lot, it'll tell you the start time of the concert and then the time for the doors opening. We're not going to stand queuing for an hour. We like to stand at back. We're both very tall. Like I said, Becca, both my girls are autistic. They don't like the pushing and shoving of the crowds. If they're there too long for the build-up, they're then overwhelmed by the time concert starts. So we normally go about 15 minutes before concert starts. Bob to Lou, get a drink, not a problem. Just making sure I've inked everything. I'm just going to bend that back and ink along that white one. Just inking all my edges while I waffle. So yes, didn't go as well as it could have, but you live and learn, don't you? You live and learn. Right, so yeah, I've got all that ink on there that I'm going to squirt water on and dip some fabric in when I've done. Right, I'm going to glue this envelope now. I like to use my art glitter glue. And how I do it with these is I put a little bead of glue on those triangles. It's all triangles today. In fact, I've been making that many things with triangles this week now. I was singing an old... I think I've sung this before in a video. And then I put a line of glue there. Triangular chocolate from triangular trees. Triangular honey from triangular bees. I think the advert was for Dairy cheese triangles, but I don't know why chocolate were coming from trees. I don't know why there's chocolate in a cheese triangle. I just really don't know. People who aren't in UK will be thinking, what on earth is she on about? Yeah, UK advertisement. Right, so just going to turn that over and check that everything's inked. Everything's inked. So the whole lot is inked now. Oh, apart from my little triangle. See, I'm that obsessed with triangles, I forgot to ink it. I'm not going sheet out again. Yeah, when doing lots of inking, I'm just, inking on a mat. I think it is a bit harder on your daubers, but you get your ink a little bit further in edges. Anyway, waffle, waffle, waffle. Right, so that's that. That's going to get glued on there. That's going to get glued on there. Now, while that envelope just, glues and does its thing, I'm going to glue these. Right, so yeah, the concert could have been better. Could have been better. But like you say, we'll live and learn. There was supposed to be only 300 people in that venue. No way were there only 300 in a venue. And I know it wasn't just us, because there were quite a few people grumbling about the same thing who'd missed the start as well. But the bit we did see were absolutely fabulous. I can now say I've been in the same room as Danny from Script. That I'm happy enough about that. Anyway, I'm going to shut up about Script now. Whee! But yeah, I'm sorry it took me a while to get a video out again. I'm always saying sorry for one reason or other. End of the day, my kids take up a lot of time. They're very time consuming, are my children. I love them to bits. Now, I had someone ask in a comment, I can't remember your name, I'm sorry, because I don't have a memory, how old my kids were. Because, you know, sometimes I think when I talk about them, I make them sound younger than they are. I've got twin girls, they're my only two kids, and they are 18 years old. But as I've said, they're both autistic, which comes with its own challenges. Not least that it took us until they were just turned 18 when we actually got the final official diagnosis. That's just how it is in UK these days. Unless you can pay to go private and get your diagnosis, there's a lot of fobbing off and waiting to do. Whee! There we go. But they've got it now, and it will help them going forwards. And it's made us all feel a lot better. I think we're not going mad, because I've been told so many times in the past that autistic, no, don't be silly. And you know, don't you, as a mum, sometimes you just know. Right, so that's everything glued. And I'm going to glue my envelope to the back of there, and then I'm going to glue my pocket. Now on this one I put the pocket at the bottom to take advantage of the pattern. I think on this one I may put the pocket at the top, I don't know, so we can see the birdie. Yeah, I'm going to do. You could then decide at some point, using a separate piece of paper to make another pocket. You could make a triangular pocket. Yeah, you could. You can do anything you want. It's your project. Right, I just had to flip that round so I could put my glue on. Now I'm going to put glue not up to the crease. It's about, well, probably it's a 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to need to stab this. No, I'm just going to need to poke it. Getting a bit dramatic there, aren't I? Whee. Yeah, so anyway, the reason why it's that time of year for applying to university, I think what deadline's next week, 29th, so yeah, we've been getting all that done. I've been helping him with that. So they both got their applications in this week, and I'm very happy that within 24 hours of both their applications going in, they've both had offers. Becky had an offer from her second favourite, no interview. She does arts, didn't even want to do an interview, or she didn't even want to see a portfolio. They've just said yes straight away, so that were really good for her. She's got an interview at another university, and a couple of others have asked to see a portfolio. So I'm just so relieved, because the waiting is the worst, isn't it? Right, so that's that on there. Now for attaching this, what I've done is I've used washi tape. Washi tape. Oh, I'm going to show you this washi tape I got. A lot of people buy craft supplies from Temu. I either promote Temu or diss Temu. I do sometimes buy from Temu. I tend to buy things that I know are not going to infringe copyrights from Temu. And I thought I'd be okay with these washi tapes. But, where's it gone? Oh, I had the piece. I'm going to have to find it again. This one piece of washi tape, I were about to stick it on, and I noticed the words on it sound very, very familiar. Was it this one? Oops. Yes, the rose. Yeah, the rose. I don't know if I ought to read this out. Did I stick the dodgy bit on? Some say love, it is a hunger. Yeah, I never... Oh, we can't see the full bit. Let's unravel it. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender seed. I'm thinking those words sound really familiar, and there's going to be people out there now that are like, yeah, I know that. It's a Bette Midler song, innit, from a film. I've not seen the film, but yeah, I know the song. I'm not going to sing it. The Rose. So we've got Bette Midler song lyrics on this washi tape. Now, I'm quite sure that that song from 1979 is under copyright. So yeah, and then I did notice on some others that the spelling mistakes are truly horrendous. So, my lovely girl, if are the heaven, I shall be a star above on hig. My darling, if you are, we know E. Oh, the E's there. Hellfire to oh, yeah, I can't be doing with that. I'm still going to use it. I bought it. I'm going to use the pictures. But any wordage on it, just be careful when you're buying stuff. Yeah, I'm very careful, because I did buy a few years ago, and I used it in a video, a die that I got from AliExpress, and it turned out that it was a copy of one by Sam Poole, and she emailed me, and I was mortified. She was so nice about it though, just to let me know that it were a copy of her die. And yeah, I took the video down. She was like, you didn't need to take the video down, but I'm like, I took the video down. I'll buy generic stuff from there, but I'm very wary of anything now. I don't want to, I could get my YouTube channel closed down for copyright infringement, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to use a different washi tape. I'm not going to use that one. That were a long waffle. I'm sorry. What about this one? No, don't like that. What we got in here? No. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do what Kathleen did in her video. Right. This is a roll of, it's, you know, it's the surgical tape. Yeah. It's a paper plastic free, this one. I happen to have paper plastic free ones because my kids are very eco-friendly. And let's show you what Kathleen does, and it's a brilliant idea. Right, I'm going to get my glue book out. I'll use back of that. Now she takes a strip of this and she puts it on to the writing. Now I've found the tape she got and the paper she got, she just pressed it down, and when she peeled it up, it just took the words off the paper. But can you see mine? If I just do that, it's not taking enough words off. I then bone folded it and it was taking half of the paper off. So I've found I just press it down. This is something, if you want to do this, you will find it'll be different with each type of book page as well. That gives me, oh, just a nice amount. Can you see? And it's like making your own washi tape, isn't it? Then you don't have to buy Bette Midler's copyrighted words off Temu. There you go. You can just when you put it on, you can just see the words coming through. So I'm now going to rip it to the length I want. I'll rip that top bit off because it hasn't got no words on. And then I'm going to have it just short of the length. And then because we've been handling this and it's not the stickiest stuff in the world anyway, I'm just going to put a bit of glue on my tape. So I've got to decide. That's going to fall. I think I'm going to, I don't like it right at top, so I am going to cover the birdie up. So then that needs to go like so. And I'm going to just leave a space. Because if you don't leave a space, it won't fold up properly. And I'm just going to rub this over my glue. You could put your glue on your card. You can put this down somewhere and put glue on it. Which, do you know what? I think I'm going to do that because I'm really struggling here. It wants to curl up a lot. It didn't curl up a lot the other day. I don't know why. But it is doing today. So just put some glue on and stick it on. That's another top tip when you're gluing stuff. Put your glue on and stick it on. Now I've lost my gap. Get your gap back. Have I got my words right way up? Very faffy today, aren't I? I'm very waffly. So, but there are timestamps for you to jump to the next one if you feel you've seen enough of this one. Yeah, that's terrible, woman. Do it like that. Tell you what, I'll do it like that. I will put it where I want it. Line my edges up. And put my tape round. I didn't have to do this when I was making ones off camera. It's because when I get talking, it's like I lose a percentage of my ability to craft. So there we go. Can you see? Then when you do that, you can see you've got a gap. Right, I will then just get another piece. I didn't lose my tape either when I weren't on camera. And I'm going to take some more words off. I'll use this piece. So just rub it down a bit. Peel it up. Woo! And you've got your own wordage washi tape. That's a brilliant idea. Thank you very much, Kathleen. I don't know if I've seen that before. I might have, I might not. I think she said it's nothing new, but hey. I'm at that age, and I bet a lot of you know exactly what I mean with it. It might not be new, but it is new to me because I'd forgot. I can watch a 20-year-old film that I've seen 5 times and it's new to me because I forgot. Right, and then I'm just going to rip that off. There you go. Then I always do like to, even when I've put glue on it, I like to bone fold my washi tape. It does two things. It helps it stick, and also, well, I know this is not washi tape, it's surgical tape, but it's exactly the same. Can you see it goes from more white to opaque, and we can see those words coming through? You'll probably find you won't see these words as well on camera. Whee! But they are there. They are there. Can you see the letters? And that goes there, that goes there, and that is our insert. How natty is that? I'm not making decorations for him. And like I say, I don't know if I want to cover that up or if I want to leave it white. So what I'm going to do with my triangle is just pop it in there until I come to decorate whatever journal that goes in. So that's that one. Right, I'm going to make the different size one, and then I'll also show you how to do an envelope without the punch board. And I'm back. So I've gone for some paper from the, let's show you. Ta-da! House of Roses from Stamperia. In fact, I'm going to use this sheet. It's the cover sheet, because we won't have to see that side, will we? Yeah, and the other side of it is yummy. Some of the Stamperia packs have tags and stuff on inside covers. This one didn't on the front. So, right, we're just going to cut this one slightly different size. I'm going to grab my, what's it? I'd already made one with that look. And we're going to make one just like that. So this time I'm going to make the envelope slightly different size. Tell you what, flick the top of that out. So I'm going to cut it this time. I want the envelope to be 8.5 by 8.5. So I'm looking at this. So I'm going to get, let me just grab this. I know this is not an 8, it's not even close to an 8-inch sheet. Here we go. That is, it's this. So I know that's 8 by 8. So I'm decided which corner is going to be my envelope, because then I'm going to be left with a strip and another strip. So one of the strips is going to be my belly band piece, and one is going to get folded in half to be my pocket on the front. This one. So I'm thinking if I use that for the envelope, I always tend to pick the busiest bit for the envelope. Yeah, I don't want to cut no birds in half. We're not going to be decapitating birds today. And looking at this, I'm thinking, that could be my belly band piece, and then that, although the roses would be sideways, I think they'd still look nice. That could be my pocket piece. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to cut it there. And that's how I think about it. You don't always have to think about what's going to be shown where, but I like to sometimes. So I'm going to cut that there at 8.5 inches. So I've got that piece. That's then going to become my pocket. Yeah, those roses look fine sideways. It depends on the paper you've got. Then I'm going to cut, would I cut the bird's head off if I made that 8.5? Ooh. No, so I could have that as my belly band piece with the roses. No, I'm still going to have that as my envelope. That's me, I can change my mind, I'm allowed. So that's 8.5 by 8.5. That's going to make my envelope. That's going to be my belly band piece. I don't know what yeah, that's the right way up. Yeah, I like that as my belly band piece. And that's going to be my tag pocket on the front. Yeah. So, grab my envelope punch board. I don't know whether to just go straight into showing you how to make one not with envelope punch board. I'll do one of each. So I'll make this with the envelope punch board. So it's 8.5 by 8.5. And let's have a look. I can't remember what size I used. Did I use the size or did I make my own size up? I honestly cannot remember. So I'll tell you what, let's just, yeah, that would make an envelope 4.5 by 6. That's good. So we're going to score at 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. Yes. There were a little piece of paper earlier, weren't there? That had 3 1/4. Here we go. That's what that was for, this one. So I make things to remember and then I forget I've made them. That's really sad, that, isn't it? Really sad. So score. That didn't go very deep. I've also found this. It were in it. I can't wait to look back and see at the beginning of this video to see if it were in all time. And I was looking for it like a numpty. Whee. And then I'm going to line up my edges. So yeah, like I say, rather than just turn it 90 degrees like it tells you in instructions and follow that line, because you can end up completely off by the time you get to the 4th cut, I turned it 180 degrees. And now I'm coming back to follow my lines. I'm going to line that up as well. Yeah, it just makes for a nicer, neater envelope. I know it's a junk journal, but if your envelope don't work at all because you've gone wrong, it's a bit sad. Also, on this side, look, it lines up with edge there. So it's very easy. Very easy indeed. I love my punch board. It's made so many envelopes. I used to sell packs of envelopes and cards. And yeah, made so many envelopes with this punch board. Right, let's fold this up. We'll move those out of the way while I score. This is much better for scoring than one that came with punch board. You can see how I lose it, can't you? I don't put it away. Well, that's how I lose most things. I'm just one of them kind of people. You should see the kitchen when I've been cooking. It's a disaster zone. Absolute disaster zone. And I don't have a huge kitchen. I've got a tiny little UK kitchen with not a lot of worktop. And it has been known to not have anywhere to put plates, to put food on it when I've finished cooking it. All the stuff I leave out everywhere. Right, I'm now going to do what I did on the other one. Get the bit that's going to be my belly band and decide... Yeah, that's going to tuck under like that. To just decide how I want my bird to look. Do I want him like that? I think he looks better like that, doesn't he, pointing down? We know he's sideways, but it's an envelope, we don't mind. Yeah, I like him better like that. So that is the one that I'm going to cut the big triangle off, which makes me happy because I'm going to have a triangle full of roses. And this is the one that I'm just going to trim down to make the envelope. Da-da, da-da. No, you've put that wrong place. I've lined it up with a line on brickwork instead of where it needed to be. That would have been wonky donkey. To be honest, when I'm just making the envelopes and I'm not making this, I'll get my scissors and my big Timalt scissors and cut from one line to other. I just might as well cut it with trimmer while I've got trimmer out to cut that other flap off. And then I'm going to cut this off, leave about 1 inch. You can leave less if you want. Do you know what? I'm going to leave 3/4 of an inch. I think 1 inch might be a little bit much. Yeah, that'll cute. That's enough. That's all you need. You don't need to cut any off if you don't want, but you'll have a little triangle poking out. So I'm going to glue this. I'm not inking this one. You saw me do enough inking. Wee. A little bit there. There. Ooh. If you get your glue too near edge, you might seal your envelope shut. It's one of them things you get used to. If you think you might be about to seal your envelope shut, get a little bit of glassine paper, some kind of backing off a label, and just pop it inside while you do that. Yeah, I don't think I got that near enough edge to seal my envelope up. You can see it's not sealed up, so I'm a happy bunny. Happy, happy bunny. Don't know why I'm singing all the time today. It's very weird. So while that sets, I'm going to do my pocket flap. Do you know what? I may not glue that envelope on. I've showed you how to make it now. I may make another envelope without using the envelope punch board and glue that one on. yeah, then you're not watching the same thing for a third time. Where's my punch gone? Yeah, I'm going to have that up front, I like it. Again, I think they're sideways, but they look good. There's a little bit of glue left on top there. It really annoys me that, you know, from paper pad. Sometimes it's hard to pull off, so I'm just going to take a sliver, just a teensy weensy sliver, and it's got the glue off. That still fastens up okay. Yeah, let's glue this one. Whee. Whee. I mean, if you wanted, you could glue the top and the bottom and have a side pocket. Get some glue on, woman. You're doing a little bit frugal there, aren't you? There's frugality and then there's like not using enough to do a job. That's why my glue lasts so long. I don't like too much glue on my fingers. So I'm not a messy crafter. Well, I am, but not messy with glue. No. Right, so that's my belly band. The envelope will go there. Now here, if I'm very lucky there, it's covered all the wordage. Well, I'm not lucky, it's a junk journal. It doesn't matter if the wordage is showing, does it? I'm going all perfectionist. But yeah, I'd be happy with that. I'd then use my triangle for something else. And then that will be my pocket. The bird is going to get covered, but hey ho, but I really like that. That's so pretty. I do like Stamperia papers. I've got enough to last me a long time, so even in a no-spend January, I'm using what I've got. Right, so that will be that. So rather than gluing that, what I will do is I'll now show you how to make an envelope if you don't have an envelope punch board. There's various ways. So I've got some paper. I've just grabbed an 8x8 sheet to show you how to make one of the envelopes, just so I'm not cutting down 2 more big sheets. This one is a full 12 by 12 sheet, so I'll cut it down to 8.5 by 8.5, so you can see exactly what size the envelope will be. So 8.5. It's quite a plain sheet this, so you don't have to worry too much about what you're cutting down and where. By 8.5. In fact, do you know what? I'll cut 2 sheets down to 8.5 by 8.5. Yeah, grab another one, woman. Because yeah, you need to know exactly what size the envelope's going to be, don't you? From 8.5 by 8.5 sheet. Oh, I'll use that one. That's pretty. There you go. So that's 1. And this will be 2. I'm already deciding what I want to, what bits I'm going to use for what when I, because I'm going to make them into more of these same 1 sheet wonders. So I'll cut that piece off, and 8.5. Yeah, we'll end up with 1 bird on envelope and 1 bird in a tree. No birds decapitated. How good is that? Right, put your trimmer away, missus. Right, there's many ways to make envelopes. I'm just going to show you 2. One will make the triangular type envelope, like so, and one will make the envelope that I showed you on this one, where you've got the flap. Yeah, it's just an envelope. So you've got 2 bonus envelopes in this video, really, haven't you? Right, let's make the triangular envelope. So there's many ways again to even do this triangular envelope. What I do is I do it like this. Some people do it with folding. I get a ruler and I line it up corner to corner, and in the centre I will just put a line, and then I'm going to do the same crossways, because I'm going to have to turn it so I can see if my ruler's lined up. Crossways, and put another line. You can always rub these lines out. Do you know, that's really hard to see on my mat, that green. Let me put green at bottom and light at top so I can see. I mean, my eyes are nearer to it. There we go. I would have thunk that would cause me a problem. Don't have to be perfect, but as near as you can. And so that's my centre. Now, if you've got a pattern, no, it doesn't really matter. Mumbling, stop mumbling. Now take one corner in and line it up with that, or you can go slightly over it if you want to make your envelope a little bit narrower. If you do it like so and think that's going to be too wide, you can overlap, but I'm just going to line it up there because it doesn't really matter what size our envelope's going to be. If I were making this envelope to fit a card in particular and that were going to be too wide, I would either use a smaller piece of paper or I would just bring those in a little bit, because we can always sort everything else out. Right, that's the first thing. I'll just crease these now. Whee. Now for the bottom, do I want that bottom? Yeah, I'll have that bottom. For the bottom, I'm just going to come in. Now some people say when you make these, line it up with that line. Let's make that line first. Let's make that line. I'm going to line my ruler up with the top and the top, you know, where they fold. Make that line. Some people say line it up. Now, maybe they're making a particular size envelope. I'm not. So, I'm not going to line it up. Because it'll still make an envelope. Look, see what I mean? I don't see point in that. We'll make it yay big. We'll line it up and make it yay big. I don't know why. Crease that. Now, if you've got a thick scrapbook paper like I have and that bulk bothers you, then just open it out and cut those little triangles off. I tell you, my life's just been full of triangles. Cut them little triangles out. Cut slightly. So the crease to the right of the crease, yeah. We want to cut the creasy bit out with it. We don't want to leave the creasy on. Cut to the right of the crease there. And the left of the crease there. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes my powers of explanation just disappear. So, there we go. Yeah, that went a bit wonky, but well, we can live with that. We'll put a bit of ink on it. A blind man will be glad to see it. Put a line there where it intersects and a line there, and I'm going to use my big chompy scissors just to cut that off. Can't be bothered to get trimmer out, although I'm going to have to in a minute. And then that's our envelope. I'm just going to rub that mark off because I can still see it. There we go. And we've got rid of bulking corners. So then you would do exactly the same and glue it. I like to glue a little bit on either side. And then again on there. I mean, if you don't want to make an envelope, you could do all sorts. Yeah, do anything you want. Make pockets. Make another top flap pocket. Now that there. Now that doesn't necessarily meet, but for our purposes it doesn't matter because all we're going to be doing is tucking that flap under. So I'm just going to fold that and make my crease a little bit creasier. Technical term. Let's just check my envelopes. Yeah, it's straight enough. Straight enough. And I'll grab my... Where did I put my other bits? I've covered them up by showing you all sorts. So that's my belly band and that's my tag. So I'll finish this one off with this. I know it's a different kind of paper, but it don't matter. What did I say? If you're making more than one, you can use more than one sheet and mix and match. So that will tuck under there. Now you don't have to cut your triangle off because it's going to be seen, but I'm going to cut my triangle off because I might want to make a pocket out of that. So grab my trimmer. We don't like wasting card under things on paper, do we? It adds to bulk that you don't need anyway. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to cut this off. I think the 3/4 of an inch were enough. So I'll do it there. And that will be a nice little pocket. Still not happy that's creased well enough, so I'm going to crease it again. And we're going to glue that now. So I'm going to glue just short of the line again, about 1/8 of an inch. Or maybe 3/8. Whee. I left lid off my glue again, didn't I? It's no great secret as to why my glue gets clogged, because I don't put the lid on or the pin in. Whee. And then squiggle out around there as well. And pop that on. I find it really hard to see crease on this paper because it's not inked. So inking does have its other positive points. Have I got that a bit wonky? Just manipulate it a bit before it glue's dry. There we go. Straight enough, straight enough. There we go, that's made it even straighter. And then we've got our tag. That's going to go there like so. And let's grab some washi tape. Where are we, washi tape? Oh no, I've got, there you go. So, I'm just looking for a bit of like. There we go. I like that bit. It's everywhere. And rather than one continuous line this time, I'm just going to put, they look a little bit like hinges, don't they? That's so wonky, woman. Turn it sideways. If you think your washi tape isn't sticky enough, put some glue on it. I'm going to wing it on this one. I can always put glue on after if it doesn't stick down. Bone fold it, and then I'll get another piece. I don't want that. I think I'm going to have that with petals. Yeah, petals and a butterfly. And I don't want that to come as far in because I don't want to cover those roses up because they're so pretty. And what have I done? I've glued that to that with washi tape. I got all confused then. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to just rip that up. There we go. Because I wanted that on front, but it wasn't needed for the hinge, so I've just ripped it off. And then we'll put a little bit on that side the same. That little 3/4 inch sticker's ended up there. Waste not, want not. We'll use that bit. And then here, I'm just going to tear that now. And I'm going to tear that brown bit off because I don't really like it. There we go. I like to have my washi tape the same height because I don't want any sticky bits leaving exposed. You don't want any exposed sticky bits because they might stick to something you don't want them to stick to. Bone fold that down. It should stick enough once it's had a bone fold, this one. It is quite a sticky washi tape. There we go. So that's it. I've made that envelope without an envelope punch board. Guaranteed it is a lot easier to make them with a punch board, especially if you want to make them a certain size, but not everyone's got one, not everyone wants one. It depends how often you make envelopes. I bought mine when I was a card maker and I made a lot of envelopes. So that's that. Right, I will just show you how I made the other envelope in this style now. Yeah. This one is pretty easy. It's quite an easy envelope method. I want that to be, that can be bottom of my envelope, that can be top. Now you'll need a scoreboard for this, or well, you could use a ruler. I like to use a scoreboard. Now I decide how big I want my envelope. Now this one is, how big did I make this? See if I can recreate it. I made that 4.5 inches wide. So my piece of paper is 8.5 inches wide So I'm going to score, that's the bottom of it, but let's put it right way round. That's the bottom. My whole envelope is 4.5 inches wide. That lip there I did at 3 1/4. So I'm going to score at 3 1/4, and then I want to add 4.5. That bone folder really doesn't like to work on that scoreboard. Then I'll add 3 1/4 to 4.5 to decide where my next line wants to be. If anyone can be adding that up and tell me in a minute. So 3 1/4 plus 4.5. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 1/4 is 3/4. So I need to score at 7 3/4. My board don't go that big. Oh lordy. So here's the thing to do if you only got a little one. I've lined that score line up with the 1 mark, yeah? And I want my envelope to be 4 and 4.5 inches wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 and score. There you go. Silly woman. And my board's also not long enough, so I need to line that up and finish that. So even if you don't have a long scoreboard, you can still manage with a little bit of maths and a little bit of ingenuity or craziness. So I'm going to fold that up. That's going to be my bottom flap on my envelope, and that's going to be the top that's going to go under under my belly band. So as you can see, with that 8.5 by 8.5 sheet of paper, if you wanted, you could just put a big flap and a pocket, yeah? You don't have to make it into an envelope, should you not wish to. But if you do want to make it into an envelope, here's what I do. How tall was this envelope we made? The envelope was 6 1/4 inches tall. But I'm going to make one that is 7.5 inches tall. And I'm going to do that by scoring 1/2 inch down either side. I don't want to waste any paper. And 1/2 inch down that side. Is that going to make it? Yeah, it will. Will it make it 7.5? Have I done that maths right? Yeah, we put an S on maths in UK. 7.5 it does. And then I'm going to cut my corners out. So if you see where it's creased on the corner, I'm going to cut those corners out. I'm going to do them a little bit tidier than I did on my last one. So I'm just going to angle each one a little bit. Remove that corner, and I'm going to do that to all 4 corners, even though 2 of the corners are huge corners. They're really big, huge. So it's all that bit I want to remove. So I'm just going to grab the big scissors for this. I'm cutting a slight angle, very slight. Do that again. I find these are easiest envelopes to make, as long as you've got glue. Angle that, get your big chumpy. I can't see its score line on that side, I can on this side, and cut that. Yeah, my eyes are getting to stage 9 late afternoon where I have to ink my score lines to even blooming see them. It's really bad. So that's that. That's that. Can you see how that's just a perfect envelope? Now if you've got a corner rounder and you want your corners to look rounded, why did that not work? Why on earth is that not working? I really don't know. Maybe because it's not a proper corner. I obviously didn't get it in right. I don't know why. Now this one, if you want to round it, that's a bit too angled to round. The cat's growling. I don't know what's up with her. That's that craft room door growling. She probably wants to come in. It's like, why is that door shut? Doors shut 'cause both the kids are at home. So I'm just going to bone fold them. Bone fold that. I'll bone fold that. There we go. So we didn't need the full flap because we're going to tuck it under there. So that is so that's perhaps maximum size you could make the envelope. But how good would that be? Yeah. And then we're going to come in and glue. If you're making it to actually use as an envelope, make sure that your size allows that flap to come down and close. But we're not making it as an actual envelope. We're just making it as a flap. So it's a faux envelope, I suppose, isn't it? I'm not going right to the top with that because I'm not. Because piece of paper I'm going to glue down don't go right to the top. And there we go. I've gone too far, so just wipe it off. There we have our faux envelope. How pretty would that be? So let's imagine that envelope's not there, never has been there, but it is. Do you know what? You could put that on over. It'd make for a very bulky pocket though, but I suppose you could. I think I'd be a bit concerned about the bulk. We could put it there. No, Julie, that's instead of that. You can't put that on as well as that. It's got to be instead of that. Is that the one we even made today? No, it isn't, is it? I didn't glue the other one together because I was going to use that, were I? Oh no, I used that. Julie, you've been videoing too long now. Your brain's gone wonky. So I hope you made head or tail of that. So yeah, I've got all these one sheet wonders now. All I've got to do now is make 27 journals to fit them all in. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will get to do a video where I'm doing some inking and splattering. I just keep seeing all these other things that keep grabbing my attention, and I keep doing those instead. So thank you for watching. I will link all the videos that I've mentioned down below. In fact, I'll put them up on screen now. There'll be the envelope punch board video, and I can't remember what other video I mentioned, but there you go. Be up on screen. See you next time. Bye.